Well, it is my great pleasure to invite you here tonight for our longevity series, which we're calling Together Tuesdays, at this amazing club, the Royal Automobile Club of Australia, which is nicknamed RACA. My name is Carl, and I'm one of the passionate committee members here. So let me just set the scene. When we started Together Tuesdays, we went out with one simple but powerful question. What does it really mean to live well for longer? Not just about adding more, candles on a birthday cake, but actually adding life to your years. So our goal was to look at how to get more sleep, how to get more energy, and how to become sharper in your mind. And hopefully to have less aches and pains when you get off the couch. So with this in mind, what we've done is we've done a couple of these so far. Our first one a couple of months ago was done by our RACA nutritionist, Matthew, over here. And what we did, we did some really fun quizzes where people were looking at what 3 types of food, Matthew?
B vitamins, calcium, and antioxidants.
So you had to choose which ones had the highest in those groups. If you want to know the answer, you can jump on our YouTube page. The full video is there. And last month, we had the National Heart Foundation, Natalie, that came past and looking around the room. I think a few of you attended that, quite a few actually. And she was just looking at how to predict and prevent a heart attack. And what we discovered just looking at these different areas, it's just all about the small little changes that you can make in your life, in your day-to-day life, that make such a dramatic difference, both for now and for going in the future. So no matter if let's say you're a professional athlete, are there any professional athletes in the room? Over here. Or if you're a weekend walker, or you just want to get some more energy and more sleep in your life, tonight is for you. Because it's about being curious, it's about taking action, and more importantly, it's about community. Because living longer shouldn't be done alone, it should be done together as a community. And maybe on a Tuesday night at RACA. So let's get to know the community we have here tonight. So I want you to all, for those that can, all just jump on your feet. I want you to spy somebody maybe across the other side of the room, someone that you didn't come with, someone that you don't know, and let's say you can share a story with this new best friend of yours about something that you do in your life that gives you more energy or makes you feel healthier. So tonight, we're going to leap into the future, into the excitement of fusion, where artificial intelligence meets body performance. Are you guys ready?
Sorry.
Looking around the room? Ready? So, imagine this. You walk into the gym and it knows who you are. It knows how many steps you did yesterday. I know. It knows how many hours you have or have not had. And it learns your rhythm, your weight, and your goal. And the gymnasium guides you. Because it's just not about working harder, it's about working safer, smarter, and with a purpose. And this is the world that Techno Gym is wonderfully going to take us in tonight. So they're going to introduce their artificial intelligent machines, they're going to talk a bit of background of how it all works, and then give us all the opportunity to be able to experience it firsthand. So with that in mind, and with great pleasure, I'd like to invite our amazing friends from Techno Gym here tonight.
Carl, by the way, we're looking for a marketing manager, so sorry to see you right now, but what you mentioned before is exactly where we stand. So at Techno Gym, and I'll show you a quick presentation shortly, we really believe in adding life to your years rather than years to your life. We really stand for longevity, for healthness, and wellness. So, how many of you have heard of Techno Gym before tonight? just so you know. Okay, good, 50%. I'm gonna start with a quick video. Who we are, where we started, and then put some context on it. I'll be quick on the presentation so we can have most of the night experiencing the wellness assessments. So calculating and getting your wellness age, and on the back of your wellness age, a program that you can follow at your own cost. Yeah, I guess what, of course, relying on me is that all started in a small garage. I guess as part of Raqqa, you probably all have a nice garage to fit your car, and it's probably something that we need to consider these days. All the big companies seem to be starting from a garage. Apple started from a garage, Amazon started from a garage, Google started from a garage. So maybe next time we pass by the garage, let's look at our cars and start to think if there is also a bigger idea behind the beautiful garage. So where we stand now, that's the headquarters. It's in Cesena, so it's an Italian company. All the solutions, all the equipment, it's built in Cesena. If you pass by Cesena, you can see on the back there's a sea. More than welcome to visit the center. And yes, we got, we've been there for 43 years now. We got 14 branches in 100 countries, 2,000 employees, 7 million users trained with technology. We got 27 million users on the technology map. And the most important numbers, I believe, for me, is that we've been partnering, we've supplied with the Olympic Games for the past 10 editions, funny enough, starting in Sydney in 2000. So we have now champions, as for the video before, we have champions that are trained with technology. You may recognize some people there, Cristiano Ronaldo's, the Yannick Sinners, for the pleasure of Cal, which is 2 times Australian Open champions now. Who would have believed it? That 17 years old Italian tennis players, now he's got 3 Grand Slams on his shoulders, and apparently, of course, it's one of the champions that decided to train with technology. In these actually pictures, you can see that he's trained with Kinesis, which is one of our technology machines that allows different movements for different trainings and different sports. As I mentioned, of course, suppliers of the Olympic Games, and of course we have some celebs that use technologies. You may recognize here some faces. So we definitely stand for luxury living, from the home prestige. So we're feeding the best homes all the way to premium commercial gyms, universities. We're strongly entering into the corporate sector and in the health sector, and of course into the performance. We've been working together with some of the designers that have helped produce some of our equipment, and we won 60+ design awards. And of course, we have an integrated experience. So that's what Techno stands for, the technology ecosystems. We believe that behind the piece of equipment, there's a lot of data that you can collect, and all this data can flow into what we call the technology ecosystems. You'll see today from our latest solutions, the checkup, you'll be able to see that all the data that you flows into your application, and you'll be able to track, improve your data and your stats. So that's, I just wanted to keep it brief tonight because I would like to be hands-on. So we're gonna have three different checkups, 2 here and 1 there. We'll possibly divide it into 3 groups, and we aim to have most of you doing some assessments. On the back of the assessments, you'll be able to see the results, you'll be able to track your wellness age, you'll be able to get a precision program, and then use the precision program at home, outdoor, at your gym, at your own pace. So before we divide into groups, I'll So just show a nice 1-minute video, which is about, of course, the latest era. As I mentioned, born in the 80s when bodybuilding was very strong. Then technology moved slowly into fitness, then into wellness. Now we believe that we're starting in a new era, which is the healthness era, where we wanna, as Carl mentioned, we wanna really try to live, rather than longer, live better. So adding really health to our years.
Techno was born from the dream of getting the world moving and has always promoted wellness. Science shows that lifestyle impacts up to 80% of health, while genetics only account for 20%. Preventing disease will be the greatest revolution of our time. From treating the sick to treating the healthy to prevent them from getting sick later. In 40 years of innovation, from biomechanics to digital technology to AI, Techno has created a unique AI-driven ecosystem to prescribe precision training with a personalized pathology and lifestyle. Today, Techno is a life science company ready for a bold step forward.
And now, welcome in the new era, in the healthness era.
Welcome to the healthness era.
Thank you. So without any. If you have any questions, please feel free. Otherwise, we would love to have you trying our checkup assessment, be able to test the solution. In order to do that, I believe you will receive an invitation to download the Technology map. I don't know if you all had the chance to download the Technology map. If you haven't, we can help you to scan this QR code. You remain the owner of this data. The moment that you want to delay the Technology map, all the data will stay with you and will be deleted from the system. So we just provide the service, but you remain the owner of the data. We use AWS, so Amazon Web Services, for our data storage in Dublin. So we get these questions a lot when we're talking to universities and governments as well. We're working with governments and they come to us and they ask why you don't store data in Australia. We don't want our data to go all the way to Dublin. Answering the questions, basically what we do is we definitely use one of the best, if not the best, data service provider in the world. And we provide the service, but the data is, you own the data. What does it mean is, to your point, yes, you're right, the more data we collect, the more we'll be able to provide you some assessments, some programs, some precision programs that we discussed today, which is what we're moving towards, a precision program. What is good for you is not necessarily good for someone else. But when you decided that you don't want to have this data flowing around, you basically turn off, at least for us on Techno, and I can't talk about other providers, you turn off your account, you delete your account as of tonight, for example, and we lose all the data. So the data will stay with you. So when we have this conversation with government university, we say we will provide the service, but the owners and the end users is the owner of their own data.
Periodically, and as you're using the machines as well, so you'll have the app, you're in a gym which has Techno gym equipment, there's either a QR code on the equipment where you can scan in, and then you know that workout, whether it's weights, whether it's cardio, that data is then fed up into your data, and that will be updating also your wellness age on an ongoing basis. So every time you're working out, it's another incremental step towards you reaching your goal. Depending on how much you want to track that, it's a little bit like the bathroom scales. You know, do you want to jump on the bathroom scales every day, or do you do that once a week, or once a month, or once a year? It's very personal. I think most important thing is that you feel that you are making progress towards your goals. Yeah.
The programs that it will create will be based on your goals, based on your times, wherever you are. So then for us now, it's not the bricks and mortar facility is the hub. The Techno ecosystem is the hub, which then happens to follow you wherever you go. Whether that's the doctors, the hotel, the gym. So for us, the app that you've all downloaded is the centerpiece, which fits in every other area.
Emerging trends that we see in a lot of clubs, of course, and as you've seen from the videos, is a lot of healthness and wellness. So we've seen a lot of clubs trying to create a recovery space. So, and I don't know if you've been across, but a lot of gyms, they're starting to add saunas, infrared saunas, ice baths, cryotherapy. Someone mentioned before, chambers. So that's what we've seen a lot of clubs moving towards, try to dedicate part of the clubs more into the recovery space, because the recovery is playing a big part into being healthy. So back in the 80s was very much bodybuilding. Then it started to become very popular, the fitness, cardio, and everyone started to run. Then now these days it's more about wellness and healthness. So it's no more about just going all in one particular aspect and area of your body or mind, but it's trying to have a balance. So the recovery, that's what we've seen at least popping up everywhere, the recovery part.
Yeah, I think, there are bigger societal trends going on as well. I mean, we're here talking about healthy longevity. You certainly see a greater focus now on cardio, but also strength, also later in life. So let's say over 50. I think there's growing awareness around osteoporosis, awareness around stability and balance later in life, how a bad fall could lead to a broken hip, and what does that mean then for your health. So the importance of musculoskeletal strength, I think, is a big societal trend. Another trend you see at the other end of the spectrum is younger generation, which is drinking less. It's a lot lower consumption of alcohol, and there's actually a higher spend on gym membership. So if you take my generation, Gen X, compare it to Gen Z, which is the younger, bold, and the beautiful crowd, that they are spending inflation adjusted 7 times more than my generation. And I think to your point around recovery as one of the hottest trends in the sector overall, I think that is a symbol of a more holistic approach to well-being. So yes, I work out, I do cardio, I do strength, and afterwards I relax, I sit in the jacuzzi, or I do an ice bath, I do a sauna, I do an infrared sauna. Many gyms also today having co-working spaces or cafes as well, so it actually becomes a destination to go on a Saturday or a Sunday, also with your partner, also with your friends. And I think that connectedness is then feeding into the digital ecosystem as well. So wearables or an Oura Ring or other types of devices which are tracking information. We're seeing a trend also around diet and how people are also trying to track what they're eating much more as well. So it's really feeding into less of a guesswork, I would say, about how am I preventing disease and more of a mindful approach. Yeah. There is quite a trend, I would say, in the health system around that in general, that doctors are being encouraged actually to prescribe exercise or strength training actually as a way to help their patients prevent disease. I think the social aspect is really important. I think finding someone to go with or to do it with, which again, coming back to the recovery that we were talking about before around the spa or the cold bath or the sauna, one of the big trends you see is that it will be a couples activity, for example, on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, or you'll go with a group of friends, whether it's male or female as well. So I would say probably the social aspect, finding someone to do it with, make it actually a part of your social well-being. I think
That's a good call out, socialness.
yeah.
I think one question that we did have is, how does the personalization work on machines? Now we have one question.
Personalization
Overall, yeah.
overall. So basically, on the back of the assessments, the AI, ideally on the back of the input that you have the first time that you join the app, it will ask you how many days do you want to train, how long you want to train, what's your level, if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. You potentially, if you are part of a club, you'll ask also any injuries that you have, any surgeries that you had.
Nice.
Then on the back of the assessments, of course, all this data, as we discussed before, have been taken into considerations, and the AI will basically create the best program available from our library based on potentially the equipment that you have available in that particular club to improve those weaknesses, those weakness points. So if you are low in the cardio, most likely you get a lot of cardio exercises in the program. If you're low in mobility, you most likely you get more of the mobility exercises. So
We also saw that it also asked you what sport you did as well.
yes,
So it was a nice touch.
yes. So ideally, is trying to provide you with the best exercise with what your lifestyle is already.
For sure.
Past experience that you had.
Yes.
And to the point of your member before, the ladies before, you're trying to feed you with the easiest possible program that you can most likely gonna start with.
Yeah, so not to make it too challenging or
No,
too difficult,
yes.
but then again, not make it too easy and boring.
Correct.
And making sort of gamify it at the same time
Yes,
to give you
yes,
motivation to
yes,
come back
yes.
for more and more. Which is amazing. Well, thank you so much, and thank you to Techno Gym for, and also the swag bags, or the good goodie bags as well, just to call that out. So thank you ever so much. Really, thank you. Please ignore the advice about drinking and grab a drink. There's also a protein drink, and then for those that do have the time, as mentioned before, we've got a wonderful wellness menu. So please join us upstairs to continue the socialness in the community. And I hope to see you. Oh yes, Matthew.
Don't forget early bird tickets.
And early bird tickets as well. See Christian, and he will sign you up for that. So I hope to see you all next month. Thank you once again. Yeah.